YouTube is one awful platform. I think most people can agree with that. I feel like the only reason people still use YouTube is because there's no other option. And Google, the people behind YouTube, clearly don't want YouTubers on their platform. It's a very flawed system because all they want is corporate Jimmy Kimmel bullshit that no one here really cares about. But they decided that they were going to make a place for that on the place that was supposed to be something other than live TV, something different. That's what YouTube was. It's something. It's not live TV. It's people making videos. It's people's imagination in a video. It's what they want to make. YouTube nowadays is what Google wants you to make and whatever the algorithm thinks is fine. In 2016, near the start of the adpocalypse, a lot of like channels, and we were all terrified that one day YouTube would become this place for just Jimmy Kimmel and talk show hosts and bullshit no one cares about, and that YouTube would die off. And we were scared that everyone's content, the content we used to make way back then, the hilarious content, the creative content, that was all gonna go away. We were right. It doesn't seem as bad as it seemed back then, but it's here. We're definitely it's exactly what we thought it would be. The comedy on YouTube is not what it used to be. And I think the fact that what used to be acceptable in 2011 isn't now is some bullshit. Like, here, let me give you a quick explanation here. Making fun of autistic people doesn't mean you hate autistic people. It's a kind of extreme example, which it really shouldn't be in 2020, but, you know, in 2016, saying that would mean literally nothing. But now, the internet has become so soft that any sort of criticism is apparently harassment. Any form of comedy is offensive. And everyone has to play by fucking the soft rules. And it's made YouTube progressively less funny. It's not what it used to be. Live TV isn't supposed to offend. Live TV and cable is for soft people. It's not for like funny, creative, as harsh as it needs to be to make the video good. And that's exactly what YouTube has become. You can't the freedom of speech in YouTube, it's now catering towards being PG and like child friendly instead of what it used to be, where it would just be like people saying what they wanted. And a lot of people have this weird twisted idea that because you make fun of this means you hate it. That's wrong. If I make a joke about, okay, I'm going to say it because I use it in my videos, but if I make a joke about gay people, I have nothing against them. It's just, to me, it's funny. And to a lot of other people, it is funny. Hell, I know a couple gay people, and, like, they know, like, it's funny, even to them. If it offends you, you don't have to watch it, you don't have to support it, but to actively be against it because it offends you, something designed for entertainment, offended you, is bullshit. The fact that this is what YouTube has become is bullshit. The fact that there's people celebrating that a YouTuber got his channel terminated because he wasn't abiding by live TV talk show rules is bullshit. I'm not exactly a Leafy supporter, but the fact that his channel could just get terminated without any strikes or anything means it can happen to more than just Leafy. That's bullshit. I understand that he was cyberbullying, right? He might have taken it a little further than most people did. But that's what YouTube is. That's what YouTube was anyway. And people found, I personally didn't watch those videos back then. Weren't that funny to me. But I didn't hate the guy. In fact, I actually respected it that he continued to keep YouTube funny Something that clearly wasn't done by other YouTubers. Because other YouTubers, instead of giving like in to basically live cable, but on YouTube, instead of doing that, he continued to make content that was funny. And sure, he dipped when it was no longer funny, but like, at the end of the day, that's what it was. For some people, it was funny. Different people have different tastes in humor. I'm sure Leafy has nothing. Well, you know what? Maybe Leafy has nothing against autistic people, but either way, that's just how YouTube was. I think the fact that, like, I personally don't like Shane Dawson at all, quite the opposite, right? But the fact that he got in trouble for doing blackface 10 years ago is bullshit. Doing that doesn't make him racist. You know? He did it for content's sake. Not for monetization. Not because it didn't offend people. So all I'm saying is, all I want to say before I go is I'm going to keep my content as offensive, as horrible, as awful as it needs to be. If it means I make no money, I don't care. If it means I get terminated, Storyfire looking pretty nice right now. All I want to say here is YouTube sucks. They've taken all the creativity and all the humor away. And like, people have to work around it. Like, for example, Carson is known as one of the funniest YouTubers here. And all of his stuff is ironic. He has to revolve around irony for the most part. And that's pretty much what a lot of YouTubers do have to revolve around. Because you can't say what you want. You're limited by people who will get offended at something that isn't directed towards them. At something that it's not hateful speech. It's just used to make content that is funny. You really shouldn't be offended. If you have a disability and somebody makes fun of that or makes fun of you because of that disability, that's different. If they make fun of the disability in general, that's for content. That's not because he hates you because you're disabled. It's not because he has a thing against disabled people. It's because he's doing it because most people will get the joke and find it funny. Hell, even the people with the disability will find it funny because they get it's a joke. But a lot of people on the internet get so butthurt at something that has nothing to do with them. And then that's how we got to YouTube. It is the YouTube we have now. Whatever the hell this is. There is no comedy on this YouTube. It's all ironic at this point. And if you try to bring any of that 2016 humor back, your channel is demonetized, your channel is terminated, you are cut off the platform. It's censorship. So all I want to say is, until I either get terminated, until I get terminated, I will continue to make content that I want to, under any circumstance. I will not be censoring it, unless it's, like, for a joke, like maybe I make an ironic joke about censorship or whatever the fuck. My videos will stay offensive, if that, quote-unquote, offensive. But I do want to say, to anyone wondering, I have nothing against people with disabilities or anything like that. I simply just want to make content as enjoyable as it can be, even if it means offending some people. At the end of the day, most people will hopefully get that it's a joke and that I don't actually have anything towards them and won't complain over the internet. And hey, if they don't, I mean, that sucks, but I'll probably continue anyway, because making content is fun. I just wanted to make this video quick. Sort of a point. Fuck YouTube. If I can go to Storyfire, I sure as hell will. I hope they kick YouTube's ass. And personally, I wish Microsoft would have made a, counter to YouTube instead of making Mixer, because Twitch didn't really do anything that bad. YouTube did. I feel like if Microsoft would have put the money into a YouTube competitor instead of a Twitch competitor, they probably would have won, honestly. Gonna cut it to you straight. I think they would have won. Because YouTube sucks. Twitch isn't that bad. I mean, it has some bad things to it, but it's not demonetized, terminated, bullshit. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. YouTube fucking sucks. I'm not going to abide by their dumbass terms of service. I'm not going to keep my content PG. You don't have to watch it, obviously. But, hey, I mean, if you feel the same way, if you feel like you want content that is, well, first of all, this channel has to revolve around your sense of humor. But if you find this content funny, and you want more content you want content to become better, then go ahead and support the channel. I mean, hell, I'm never gonna stop making content that I'm never gonna like change content up. I'm gonna make it whatever I find funny, at least to me. I'm sure everyone has a different sense of humor, but all I want is that some videos that you watch give you a laugh, even if it's at the sake of other people absolutely despising me and hating my guts. As long as the video is funny and I'm not changing it for the sake of getting monetized. As long as I can do that, I will be happy.